making someone that we earlier know from 2011, I think, when Osi became the first vice chair of SDF. We didn't even know about Nature. We knew about Osi. So now Nature is trying to make us understand that the person we've known for 10 years is dealing us. Which, of course, I have a question mark somewhere. I don't know whether Mr. Bertrand can answer it. Where is SDF going to?
Okay.
The Herald newspaper this week also points out someone, Njong Evarestus.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe that's the third party you were talking about. Because at this point, I don't know where Njong Evarestus is standing.
I'm saying that we are praying for a third party. I didn't call something.
I'm saying it is already on the papers.
It will be a blessing for the Bui community.
I pray so.
If the chairman of the SDF is from your place,
maybe that
because
time
that has been the one of the root pillar.
Before I go ahead,
I know where you are coming from.
But we have also suffered a lot.
I know where you are coming from, and I know why you decided to call the name of Njong. But in politics, we don't call the name of people. Jones, we are talking about one of the main opposition party in Cameroon, which is the SDF party, that has brought in a lot of political reforms. But today we are seeing the party becoming like a toothless bulldog in his own backyard, seeing his children fighting over spill milk. We don't know whether the in-house fighting is actually promoting democracy within the party or destroying the party itself. But my interest, or the question I want to put to you, the SDF next meeting command the Honorable Ninche to discuss the Anglophone problem at the level of the National Assembly. But instead of concentrating efforts, they are instead going to the media to fight. Do you think that he has that power to call for the SDF to talk about it? That is why he just decided to say, okay, let me occupy myself in the fighting and maybe distract the people from what I've been commanded to do from the next meeting.
Okay, two things I want to talk about. The first is I was once told a story by a pastor who said while he was still a young pastor, he was going around visiting his Christians, and finally met this pa who was lying down helplessly, and seeing his children fighting already over his property. Mm-hmm. He could not do anything. The man, his days were numbered on earth. He was lying down there helplessly, but his children were already fighting over his property. And when the pastor came, the pastor looked at him and said, "Let us pray." Then he wept. The pastor asked, "What are you crying?" And he said, he is actually still alive, watching his children fighting. Mr. Nijon Funzi has taken a very good step to say, I am tired. I can no longer go to Kusiri. I cannot fly again and go to Garabulai. I can no longer go down to Manfe and do things. So I am giving way for others to take over. While he is still alive, why are his children fighting? Why are they fighting? They are fighting over something that none of them have full power and control over. Instead of thinking of how they can rather bring in their energy together and show maybe Cameroon what it means to have a good and a fair election in a democratic world, in a sector like this, in a country like this, without actually creating enmity, without people fighting with one another in the same house. Therefore means at the end of it all, I remember one time when Mr. Biya went out to address the public, instead of addressing the people, he spent time addressing his party, telling them that politicking is over, let them concentrate together now as one. I mean, it's high time SDF should understand that instead of them fighting, they should see how they can put their heads together and look for possible solutions, even in the Anglophone crisis, to pave a way out and tell Mr. Biya that prepare for your transition. Of course, because Mr. Biya has not prepared for his transition and it's going to affect him. I don't want to open that chapter. Now, talking about the assignment that they've given Ms. OC. OC really folded my arms. I mean, he did something that no Anglophone man had expected. To go, I mean, to be part of that signature. You know, when I look at it in politics, Is that
not where Nietzsche is struggling now to canvas for more support?
But the Bible says, excuse me, permit me to quote a part in the Bible in Proverbs, which says, do not allow a loophole in your wall, for it is through that a snake is going to pass and get to you. I'm sorry, I may not remember the quotation. I can bring it next time. It's in Proverbs. Why should OC at this stage, knowing that he was about to run for such a position to go and do such a plunder act. An act that can ruin his career from the day he was born to the day he dies. I mean, how dare you go in with the people, the same people who are not ready to discuss the Anglophone crisis. You meet them and you sign a document about an Anglophone crisis that you guys have not discussed in the parliament.
More money in the bank.
What are you telling the people? That, oh guys, when I'm out there, I'm with you. When I'm in here, sorry, I'm not with you guys. I'm this other way. What have you done? Why did he not cry out in public to say that don't address the American parliament or whosoever? They didn't address their document to us. They wrote to their president. You have not even advocated for this thing in the house. Why are you replying people whom they have not even seeked your opinion? That is a misplaced priority in our country. You talked about politics. There's no politicking in Cameroon. Seriously. Everybody in Cameroon is out to see what he or she can do to benefit. That is my cry as a young person who is coming up looking at the political system of this country. So it is high time for me to think that if a political party like SDF should be blundering, Nincho coming up now, like my brother Elias said, they never knew him. He's just coming up now. We used to know he's just the regional president of whatsoever in Douala. He's coming up now because
he has been in the party since the 90s.
Yeah, but we've not been hearing him. We've heard
he's the one who implanted the SDF party in the Littoral region. You can't just say that he's just coming in now.
We accept. Osi is also a member of parliament from the Littoral region.
Yes, from the Littoral region.
Okay. So now
we got your point.
Very intense.
Mr. Fuller.
Excuse me, let me finish.
Yes, run up.
So
I have a boiling question for Mr. Fuller.
I want to send back a message to the SF party.
Yes.
That
Mr. Wome is here.
Yes, Mr. Nijon Frunzi should please look for a better way to bring down the tension right now. Instead of distracting the people, letting this distraction take place and other things happen, let them settle this their issue first in the house. They will let us look at how we can together, united, see how we can bring peace to this country.
Now, Mr. Gilles Raymond Fuller, a lot of us squeezing finger is pointing but the CPDM party more than even the SDF and other opposition party. They say you people use Honorable Joshua Osi to destroy the SDF by first of all giving him a lot of opportunity to be one of the vice president of FECAFOOT. That is opinion. And secondly, giving him the opportunity to be a questioner in the National Assembly, giving him a lot of contracts or other biddings in the Cameroon government. So that if the SDF or other political parties are being destroyed, you people will concentrate now in implanting yourself while working, the others should be fighting. What is the role of the CPDM party, like a leading or like the men or like the administration of the country, in making sure that there is free and fair politics in Cameroon? Are you people involved in the bringing down of political parties?
No, not at all. You know, we used to Abel. You know, we have a strange political party.
Is the SDF one of the allying party to the CPDM party?
No.
Do you people have any accord?
No.
That you people sign?
No.
Then why is it that the SDF, a lot of popular opinion says that the SDF is working so closely with the CPDM party, and I know you are an insider of the CPDM party. If there's anything you will tell the public. No,
we don't have accord with the SDF. The SDF is a, how can I say, a sovereign political party.
On its own.
Of its own, they have their point.
They have no relationship with the CPDM party.
Of course, we have a relationship. We are political party.
Yeah. Not like having an accord.
No, we don't have allies, any accord, secret accord, and so on and so forth. And then I want to also to tell you that we used to. There are always accusations against the CPDM.
Yeah.
When there is a rain, it's the CPDM. There is a sun, the CPDM.
But the CPDM machine is not working.
You cannot satisfy your woman, the CPDM. You cannot do anything. The CPDM. Our how can I say our opponent of the other party, they don't used to do a kind of agendamento, a kind of autocritics.
Yeah.
They are always complaining against complaining of the CPDM for nothing. For this case, this is an internal matter. Abel, and we are over laughing. These are lesson givers.
Laughing at the SDF.
No, laughing at what is happening here.
Okay.
These are lesson givers who used to tell us we don't rule the state very properly. And Abel, you know, when you are looking carefully at what is happening, you can guess, Abel, what is happening one day. If those guys, thanks God, it will not happen very soon. If those guys can reach the helm of the country,
So it will not happen.
no, we have the hell on the earth.
Mr. Wumi, you people can
The hell
never
of the
take
F.
power.
You
Mr.
know,
Fula have said it clearly.
The hell of the you cannot, you know, a parliamentarian is a serious man. You have a sense of exemplarity. I will start by the problem, Abel. I will not be too long. The problem is the fact that there is a letter for the parliament, Abel. No, a letter for a political party.
Yeah.
A letter concerning the parliamentarian to their colleague of the United States. No political party.
Yeah.
And Joshua is a
Parliamentarian.
He signed as
A
a
parliamentarian.
parliament.
Not a militant
He
of the
didn't
SDF
sign
party.
as the name of the SDF. So they are over-noising. They are over-noising for nothing.
But he belongs to a political party
I said
before
that he
becoming...
signed.
Let's take this caller
He
online.
signed as a parliamentarian.
But he belongs to a political party. Hello?
Not on the name of the SDF.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes. Good afternoon, Uncle Charles.
Yeah, good afternoon to your panel.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, the SDF party and Joshua Oshie, you know, it was wrong, utterly wrong, incorrect for him to append his signature on that document. So when Mr. Fuller is talking there, I don't understand. That document was signed in the House, not in the National Assembly. It was signed out of a session. There was no session. That document was signed. They were responding to parliamentarians in US. For what reason? We have a lot of problem here. There are so many parliamentarians, they don't even have a cabinet. Cameroonians are suffering, they don't have the national identity card. Would have been better for those 63 parliamentarians to come together to debate on the Anglophone problem, rather than writing a petition that makes no sense, that is inconsequential. And that thing has brought Oshie a lot of problems. It was self-emulation for him to sign that document. And that is why the NEC resolution asked him, ordered him, to withdraw his signature from that document. It is very important. The NEC resolution has resolved that problem. So it's left now for him. It is simple. If you want to militate in the CPDM party, come out from SDF. Why are you mixing things? Why are you mixing things? The base of the SDF is the Northwest and Southwest. It is the Northwest and Southwest. And we, the people of Nozo, we are going through a war that we did not ask for. So you cannot ask people, you cannot send a petition for people to be withdrawn from the US, to be repatriated. People that went to the US because of famine, because of hunger, because of poverty in Cameroon. People that went there to study, they're signing a signature that they should come back. I think it would have been better if he asked for the Swiss bank, where his money is domiciliated, to repatriate his funds, his money back to Cameroon. That would be an example.
I hope that is just an allegation.
So I was saying.
Okay.
He's a businessman that is very close.
I hope that is an allegation. It doesn't have a Swiss account. I just hope, Uncle Charles, you are just trying to put an allegation on that point.
He is a Swiss nationality.
Okay, thank you very much, Uncle Charles. You can still come back. Yes, Mr. Fuller, you are running up. Mr. Wumi is eager to say something.
I'm focusing on the fact that he signed as a member of the parliament, not as a militant of the SDF. Then their point of view was the fact that we have two kinds of diaspora.
Now, Mr. Fuller, if a member of the CPDM could have signed something that is out of the party guidelines, do you think that you will not be punished?
What do you mean by
When we know you people always emphasize on party discipline,
lines.
party lines, party
First of all,
discipline. For example, I take the case in the voting at the level of the National Assembly was based drastically on party discipline, because we saw the Secretary General of the party came and gave a firm instruction and nobody goes against it. And if you say that he voted like he signed like a parliamentarian and not like an SDF military, can you dissociate him from his party?
Of course. First of all, I'm wondering about the party guideline. And if you see the head of the paper is us, member of the parliament. This is the beginning of the
why
letter.
is it that
member
only 63 of them?
Member of the parliament.
Why is it that only 63 of them, not the 108?
And 80 that we know.
Us, member of the parliament.
Where were the other
No
members?
member of the SDF. Now it was talking about you have two kind of diaspora.
So
you have the positive and the negative.
So can
Those
we
guy,
can we affirm that signing as a member of the parliament, where he belongs to a political party, is that machinery? People are like trying to accuse your party, Mr. Fuller, of being the hidden hand behind the destruction of some of these our strong political parties that we have. You people want to turn Cameroon to a one-party system.
No,
and that is why you people have
I have already
blowing the fire in the different direction.
I have already answered your question. There are so many noise for nothing.
Okay.
Joshua signed as a member of parliament, and then you have two kind of diaspora.
Okay.
We have a positive diaspora, those who are there, who contribute to build the country, and a strange, a peculiar diaspora who are there by machine gun to destroy the country. And now I will go to the terrible word of Honorable Nietzsche.
Yeah.
You can be anger, you can have something against your colleague, but you hear something very, how can I say, terrible coming from the mouth of a parliamentarian. He calls Joshua as an Amazonian. He says that he's a member. Of course, he said that he's from the southwest. He cannot.
Maybe it's because Joshua told us Nietzsche
A chief man,
not to mingle into the Anglophone crisis, because it's not an Anglophone. Should political parties
A
be
chief
based
man,
on tribalism?
a corrupt people, terrible words coming from a parliamentarian. So I don't know how can the SDF can allow a parliamentarian to behave like that. Even if you have something against your colleague, you must be polite. And this is internal matters. You don't need to go on the air. You need to give a kind of amplification.
Do we have such things in the CPDM party?
I didn't get you well.
Do we have such type of political squabble within the CPDM?
Of course, but we used to solve it in our internal machine.
Okay.
Internally. Though I will learn by say that, according to me, I am very disappointed by the SDF.
Okay.
We read the next resolution.
Yeah.
I was waiting for sanctions against nature. We cannot allow a parliamentarian to behave this. We used to have a kind of respect concerning the SDF.
But now the respect is not there.
But after the next resolution, now we know why.
So is it possible?
Why the SDF is crumbling now?
Is it possible for the resolution that says that the Anglophone crisis must be tabled at the National Assembly for discussion?
This same negotiation didn't sanction Nietzsche.
Yes.
And they said that Joshua had to go back and then to do everything to bring the Anglophone problem within the parliament. Yeah. So according to us, we are very disappointed. We were waiting.
But you are not ready to talk about it.
We know the chairman Fundi.
Yeah.
He's a very courageous man. So we are very surprised by, how can I say, the weakness of this next resolution. We were surprised even to put out Nietzsche. You cannot allow. You cannot Nietzsche even within the SDF. Joshua is.
I'm coming to you. He says something very pertinent. I'm coming to you.
Joshua is a higher place than Nietzsche. Is a vice president. He was the SDF candidate at the last president. You cannot talk like that. It's a little respect to a comrade.
Okay.
So according to us, we understand now the SDF is crumbling.
All right.
And now instead of doing a kind of internal autocritics,
the other political
they are
parties
over accusing us always.
Other political
The
parties
SDF,
like the CDU,
the CPDM.
other political parties at the level of the National Assembly like the CDU, like the PSRN, says that they see no problem if this Anglophone matter is being discussed at the level of the National Assembly. That it is time we talk about it. Maybe through the Parliament we can have solution. But it seems as
proposals.
Yes, we can have proposals that can lead to solution to the problem.
You know, Eben,
yes, you are running up.
Yes, I will run by say that according to me, there are two problems in the now west and the southwest.
Yeah.
We have the real grievances of the population.
Yeah.
Who are facts.
Yeah.
Who are visible.
Which are visible.
Undiscoverable, but you have a secession attempt.
Yeah.
So the right institution, according to me, is the executive, the head of state, and then the judiciary.
Okay.
So the parliamentarian
the legislative has nothing.
can only do proposals.
Okay.
Proposals to the executive. The last word is the head of state.
Okay.
Who is the top of the executive.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I know you want to say something. Yes, few minutes.
I just wanted to say something in relation to what.
Yes, because I also saw you reacting there,
Yes.
like my very good friend Wumi.
Yeah,
Mr. Wumi,
Mr. Betran, I
talk.
understand. Now, my take is on what Mr. Fula said, that he signed the document as a member of the parliament.
We have
I
the
want
document.
to, yes,
have
I mean, we do. But let me quote you back. Remember when this Anglophone crisis started, in the days of Mr. Weber and his crew, when they stood up, the Anglophones, parliamentarians in the opposition party, that's SDF in particular, they wanted that the entire Anglophone parliamentarians keep away party lines. Let us agitate in the National Assembly and tell Mr. Cavaye, put this Anglophone matter in the lines. What happened? The CPDM Anglophone parliamentarians selected themselves. Were they not parliamentarians in the house at that moment? How, on what basis they acted on party lines? Were they not Anglophones parliamentarians that moment? Were people not being killed in their constituencies? Were people houses not burnt? When they said then let them come together as Anglophones, permit me use that word, as Anglophone parliamentarians, and say enough is enough in this house, Mr. Speaker, include that as an agenda. But what happened? The CPDM people they backslided.
Even some in the SDF, they didn't even say what.
You see, so when you're trying to mention the issue of the as a house at a house, I'm just looking at it and laughing.
You have a
because-
letter.
Good afternoon.
We are
Good
talking about a
afternoon.
letter.
No, forget about the letter.
No.
Forget about the fact that he.
Good afternoon,
was talking
Abel.
about history.
Let me take the SMS.
We
Good
are talking
afternoon.
about the
Good afternoon,
letter.
Abel. He says that. Good afternoon, Abel, and all the panelists. Joshua knows the game is playing with the government, and Mr. Fula should not hide from his language. We know clearly that the CPDM machinery is working to destroy the SDF,
course.
and
No,
they are already
we
doing
don't
it.
need.
Now, Mr. Wumi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, I hope
We
you
don't
give me some quality time for me to.
Should I ask my question, or you should?
No, let me just go into it.
Do you know the question I wanted to ask you?
It will boil to the same thing.
It become a
Okay,
fortune
I can
teller.
give
Yes.
you. Let me give you the room.
Okay, go ahead. Let me
become
first of all get what you wanted to say.
Thank you very much.
It's now
Mr.
a
Fula said you are a foreteller. You already know what they
No, I am instead going to react on what people have been
That's
saying
right,
here.
Mr.
Okay, you want to react?
I want to react.
Okay, reaction.
So your
I should ask my question.
your question can follow suit. The first thing is that I heard people saying that because Joshua has contracts in the government. By the way, first is a Cameroonian.
Yeah.
Any Cameroonian is open to have any contract, and the contract is not motivated by your political your political posture or your political position. The first thing is that I want to be clear with you, with our auditors, that Joshua has never had any contract as far as he's concerned. Because he has always challenged people on Canada, on the CRTV, and wherever he is. Because people, they love to, in Cameroon, if you want to touch people's emotion, tell them that this man is a thief. All what he's having is because he stole them. You see people start feeling a type. You see, that's the money. You will use money table. Like what Ninja said. He said, do you think I don't know that you were at the civil cabinet? Because you said people started civil cabinet, a lot of millions. So you touch people's emotion by saying those things, right?
But sometimes you go to this civil cabinet, they don't even give you anything.
Let me say something. My brother just talked of the 2004 elections. Those are things that we know just too well because the CPDM too has been concocting such of those notions, right?
So the CPDM is
they're doing that. They're doing that. They create.
John Inobili says that the CPDM machinery is working.
They do that as they create some information and throw. Let me give you an example. In 2004, when John Fundi stood up and said, "Okay, this your coalition you're creating, I think there's a fishy game." Because at the same time in the coalition, they were saying that they wanted to go and look for a Akamun Fumu. to lead the coalition. Somebody who has been in the government for so many times, ministers of for so many years, minister of the
but it
finance.
is Len Damjoya that won.
Yeah, yes. At the beginning, that was preaching. You see that's why John Fundi and Asungani started having problem, because Asungani was aware of that they were trying to look for Akamu Fumu to place, right? Later on, pap. Let Asungani and John Fundi decided, no, I will not be a party to that. Things were not done in a clear way, right? And he decided to run. And so what did they want? They wanted to discredit him. That's even after the elections. They said John Fundi met at Hotel Joga in 2004. Let me just give you the data. In 2004, they met in Hotel Joga and they gave him, it was Mebengo, right? That came with 500 million or 600 million to give to John Fundi at Joga. My brother, the elections took place in October. That's October 2004.
Yes.
Like every time with the election, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joga, you can go to the net and find it. Joga was up on the 23rd of December. Does it mean that John Fundi went and break the doors and say, okay, before the opening of the Joga, that give me come actually and give me? Whereas there are so many hotels around and people know where he lives. I'm saying that the election took place in October 2004, but Joga was opened after the elections because they said John Fundi collected money in order to
Maybe
sell
that
the
December
opposition.
is the official date of the launch.
No,
Maybe
it was,
maybe
no.
The building was already right.
Yeah.
Joga was not operational before the election, the October election. You see that those things are just cook and bull stories. You see, people just cook stories left and right.
It's a good
Secondly,
meeting point. It
it's a good
doesn't
meeting
stop
point
the
when it
fact
is
that
not
they
yet
cannot
official.
meet.
What I am saying,
It doesn't stop the fact that they cannot meet there.
point was there.
please let me say something. You know, when you want to give something, we want in mafia, right? You don't take it in the open air. You don't open it to the market square, right?
That's why they will not
that
go
is
to a
it.
good
That is
hotel.
why I'm saying that. No, the
They will not
hotel
go to a hotel,
is an
yeah.
open square. People know. When you think of something, if I want to give you something, my brother, I would make a money transfer into your account and whatsoever. I'm not going to give you money as if
By
you
that
are-
time,
by that
we
time,
had
there
all
was
the financial. We had all the financial institutions. Let me continue. Somebody talk of the fact that CBTM is helping the Joshua by putting him as the vice president of Africa Food. My brother, for those who follow football like me, I was born I grew up where we play a lot of football at Omispor. We know how we become a vice president of Fika Food. When Joshua became vice president of Fika Food, simply because he is first of all an actor of football. He has a football club and he's a Kumba boy. In Kumba Lakers, you go to Kumba, say Kumba Lakers, everyone will know what they are talking about. So he went there in Mehmet division. He was elected as a representative of Mehmet division. Went to the region, that's in Boya. He was elected as a representative of the Southwest delegation. Mm-hmm. All those big wigs of the Jalankwan, Mbela Mokicha, those big guys. How do you call him? The other Mokete guy who are in football. They saw him as their leader.
Ndoki Mukete.
Prince Ndoki Mukete. So they came here as a delegation and they said, you are our leader. Be it SDF, no, you are our leader. And he came here, he didn't go for any elections. And the laws, that's a gentleman agreement within Fekafu says that whenever there is a president whenever there's an executive bureau, at least one person must be an Anglophone.
Yeah.
As one of the vice presidents. This time, they said, okay, since in the other mandate it was, beginning day from the northwest.
Yeah.
This time it should be somebody from the southwest. And Joshua come from the southwest. How did they figure?
After beginning day, we had Bela Mokichas.
That is not my problem.
Hold on, please.
Why should Anglophones always come as the second?
No, hold on.
Because they said last time it was from Bamenda. This time it should be from Southwest.
Let me explain.
So does it mean there is a certain position was kept that the president of Fikafu must always be a
let me
and then the vice president will be.
My brother, let me clear the air. No. See, the competition is open for everybody. Joshua can decide to want to become the president. Do you understand? Joshua can decide to want to become the president.
But he cannot be the president because he has to be vice.
Hold on now. Let me explain how it happens. You see, I'm saying it's a gentleman agreement because they knew that they came to realize that in Feka Food, vote is by delegation. That's delegation. That's people coming from the north. They have it's a block. Right?
Yes.
And they came to realize that it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for an Anglophone.
That is my problem.
Hold on now. Listen,
that is the problem. I say we don't have everything in Cameroon. We have termed everything very difficult.
It can equally be difficult for somebody from the west or from the northwest or from the southwest or from the east. The truth is, I'm saying that it is a college. It's an election by college, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
People from the north, as they're coming down, they know who they are going to vote. They know all of them, the 3 northern region, they know whom they are going to vote. So if they say, okay, the person who are voting, we want that one from the littoral, he will be our leader. Like Seydou. If the people from the north decide to keep Seydou, they will keep him as long as they want. Because they have a very big delegation, 3 northern regions, right? So they came to realize it's very difficult for Anglophone. So that's why they have kept a place that even if
a quota,
yes. Even if an Anglophone becomes the president, there will be a vice president somewhere.
Especially when there is a minority group somewhere.
So it was a good decision.
Takes place.
It was a decision. So
but I think
that is our problem.
No, I think
minority group.
I think
no, it's a problem. That's what we've been calling for.
No,
let the transparency be.
Let me tell you something.
Why is the constitution not formed? Excuse me.
Let me explain
why
something.
did they not form the constitution?
In every country.
This mandate, it should be a francophone. Next
No.
mandate. Why is it not like that?
We're not in church. We're not in church.
Let us explain something.
Why don't they put that kind of...
The explanation is that...
No, excuse me.
For us to have balance so that every party should be satisfied.
No.
If the president
It doesn't happen anywhere like that. Even in Canada. Even in Canada, it doesn't happen like that.
No,
there are minorities everywhere.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Abel is saying there that if they are trying to bring a balance.
Yes.
And my brother, to be sincere, the best way to bring a balance is that you have 5 terms of mandate. Francophone, you have 5. Anglophone, you have 5.
Even if FIFA cannot accept that. FIFA cannot accept that.
No.
Rules are being created.
That is why
this is not a church. This is not a church.
No.
And that is why the problem is in that Fecafoot.
Yes.
That is why the people now, I think they said that the big wins, they just call their names Bella Moki, they are the big people of the CBDMs. They had the power to put whosoever. So they could decide and say, Mr. Bokam, let's give you this thing. They have the power to put whoever they want to put in that place.
Let me come clear.
So forget about the explanation you are giving there. He has no value in that thing.
Let me come clearly, my brother. So what I was saying here is that you need to look at the relationship between the Fecafoot and the government to understand that it's not a matter of politics.
Politics in this.
Let me say something. You know that the government has done for so many years. The government has tried to try to impose on Fecafoot, but it has never existed. In the years of Mahat Daher, it never existed. In the years of Onana Vincent, that's why Onana went to prison. We are not talking about Fecafoot. Okay, let me round up. The last thing is the fact that Joshua is a questor. Is it okay?
Go ahead.
The last thing is that you said Joshua is a questor. I don't know why. I don't know if to be a questor in the National Assembly, you must have a relationship with the CPD. Why do people like to mix things? You don't mix emotion with politics. Emotional politics kills. Because you can just say things. Emotional politics kills.
It's because
he's from the
CPDM.
He's from the CPDM. Now, Mbanda was a vice president of the National Assembly. Was the CPDM made him the vice president? The law is there that if you are in the parliament, you must these are the, if you are a political party in the parliament, these are the posts. Cabral is a member. He's a secretary due to the number of I don't know what
he's one of the secretaries. He's
one of the secretaries.
He has 5 parliamentarians.
So don't mix emotion with those things. And I'll still insist here that Fecafoot and the government, it has never been a bed of roses.
We are rounding up.
30 seconds. There is a small saying that there's no smoke without fire.
Yes.
I didn't want to bring out this point, but if Ninche, being who he is, could open his mouth in-house to say something like that don't you think we know that you met this cabinet guy to collect money? The truth, like my brother Frank was trying to say in the beginning, there is something, and the truth will out, because Ninche being who he is, mindful of what he went on air was saying, he will know that in politics such things are not to be done. But if he could say it, then I think that SDF, they should tell us what is happening
in the cupboard.
Yes, there is something.
Got your point. Now to our main topic for discussion today. we want to look at this issue of sex and violence in our school. We have discovered that our children these days are becoming more interested in the sex therapy game. We are looking for solutions. All of us know that recently we caught some students in Kribi who were dancing, indulging themselves into sexual game. Here in Yaoundé, we got some students who abandoned classes and were organizing sex party. Out there, still in Douala, we have seen a situation where a student of Segon in the Francophone subsystem of education was caught in the act of homosexuality. We have got cases where students this same week had to knife one of their teachers, their colleagues, and all the like. We have discovered that there is a lot of violence and sex, exchange of sex in our school. Now, I will start, all of you, as some people who pass through the classroom. Now, if we want to throw a blame, who is to be blamed and what should be done? Wumi, you had the microphone.
Yes, at this level, I don't think that it will be an issue of CPTM and SDF.
Yes. We are moving out. We are concluding.
We are talking about the country.
Though at the end of the day, we're going to boil down to those who are ruling us.
Yes.
You see, I am saying this because this thing has become so terrible, so devastating. Because I am an educator, a teacher.
Yeah.
You see, and you look at how the moral decadence has taken
The whole place.
control. It's taking control of all of us, especially our children. You cannot imagine. It's about 2 days ago I saw a video of students from a home, and they said they have been there for 3 months. That they leave classes, they go to their parents give them money.
Some of them have up to 30 days.
Yes, they go and buy drinks, whiskey and wines, and are doing all sort of terrible things and mixing up themselves. And I ask myself, where are we leading to? And I would like to talk especially to the parents there, because teachers like myself, we cannot do everything. We have the impression that the parents have abandoned the children into our hands. We meet the children, the few hours we have to meet them, they go home. I don't know why, if the parents actually follow their children. I don't know what the type of language that they tell their children. I don't really understand what really happens in those homes. That you see a child of barely 15 years, 16 years, indulging themselves in some sexual act, and sometimes in school. And the worst scenario is that sometimes parents will come and blame a teacher that you are the one who punished my child, you are the one who did this. It is a terrible issue, and that the government. I saw the minister of secondary education yesterday. She was saying that no, but those children, we don't have to send them away. But my goodness, we have to do as much as possible as to kick those children out of school. Why? Because
when we kick them out of school, are we not also trying to bring in another group of, in quote, bandits in our society, thieves, robbers?
Yeah, the truth is that
in future, don't you think that there is another way we can do?
No, the truth is that in school there are sanctions, right? And those who place those sanctions are pedagogues. They sat and taught. If you do this, you have 1 day suspension. If you do, you have 3. You do, you have 11. You see, so there are some crimes that, when a child commits, it is like devilish, and we don't have pastors in school. It is devilish.
But we have guidance counselors.
We have guidance counselors, and they are doing their job. They are doing a tremendous job. I will not say that they are not doing their job, but the truth is that it's like a young girl. You must do everything to always teach your children values, because as soon as they go out there, they might have a counter value that will actually transform their lives. You see, so the teachers cannot do everything. We can just do what we can, but we cannot do everything. So the parents must. What are the type of films your children watch in the house? Okay. When you are sleeping, are your children awake watching terrible movies? How do you? What type of phone do you give your children? Some are complaining that it is because the teacher, the student, you say they're coming back to us. That is because the teacher, you told them to have a smartphone, as if before the coming of Corona they were not doing it. They are simply now using the phone because the phone is doing nothing. The phone has done nothing. They're just simply using the phone. Take a videotape of what they are doing now, right? Because they used to do it without a phone. They used to do it, there was no phone. Now they're simply snapping what they're doing now and give it to your friends and show how strong, how powerful they are. So the government must take drastic solution concerning such. Why don't we come back to the fundamentals? That is to teach them through civic education, to teach them religious study. I have nothing to teach from all the levels, to teach them morals. You see that in this Francophone, especially in the Francophone schools, all this teaching of moral education, they don't have it.
They don't
have it. We know that.
Religions,
they don't have
it.
They take it. Even their level of citizenship is too low. The queue is too very low.
We got your point. Mr. Fuller, what can we do not to lose our children? Nelson Mandela once said that if you want to destroy a nation, destroy the education. And we are seeing our children, they are going towards destruction. We want to save them. What can we do?
First of all, Abel, there is a lot of exaggeration.
Yeah.
I am a teacher also. I want to tell to the viewers and to the listener that it's a question of a minority.
Okay.
Because in Yaoundé 2, for instance, University of Yaoundé 2, you have 100,000 students there, Yaoundé 2. If you are going to Yaoundé 1, you are not, they are close or even over than 60,000 students. So it's according to me, it's a question of a minority, a very light minority. Then there's if you can do a kind of comparison with what is happening abroad, can go to the United States when you see that children are involved in massive killings. You see students who take a gun and go to the supermarket and killing everybody. Lastly, you saw what happened in France. A student went there to kill a teacher. So there is a lot of exaggeration. And then we have the responsibility. The parents, of course, they have abandoned their children. You have the social network. You have the media. You have even the church. I can assure that even in some churches, if you are listening to the language they are saying, what they are saying to the followers, you'll be very disappointed. So there is a share of responsibility. I'm not one of those who are over blaming the government for everything. All of us, we have our responsibility. Okay. So it's a question for all of us to take our decision. And now we learn by the reaction. I want to tell to everybody that this is a state. This state is alive. We will not allow our state to become a Quilombo. This guy, first of all, there must be internal sanction within the established to send them out. Then there will be another sanction at the level of the judiciary. So to ask to the prosecutor, to ask to the procurator to do their job. You know, these guys are delinquent people. According to me,
and we have delinquent centers in Cameroon.
When you have committed a
under
crime,
the Ministry of Social Affairs.
when you have committed a crime, even if you have 12 years or 10, for me, doesn't matter. You have to face the law.
So it's not an issue of minority.
And this punishment is not only for the author, it's for the others.
Yeah.
In order to let them know what will happen to them. So, according to me, I'm total confident of the government. So I can assure you that all the steps will be zero tolerance.
Okay.
Zero tolerance.
Okay.
So you see.
That is why the Minister of Secondary Education even had a meeting here in Yaoundé to educate people towards that.
Not to educate, in order to call for the community of education not to take their responsibility, but their responsibility. But I told you, there must be zero tolerance. Zero tolerance.
Okay.
This guy, they will face their responsibility. And as I will learn by saying that it's a question of a minority. I know the majority of the students, they are very conscious of what they are doing.
We thank God that's the minority. Now, frankly, we are talking about this issue. How can you explain the fact that even though we are struggling to blame the parents, but when you look at it, what is the role parents are playing? Because we find it difficult to explain the fact that a child will leave the house with dresses in the bag. The parents will have no idea. Children will accumulate 30 days of absence. The parents will not even have an idea. What role should parents play so that we should not be having this type of issues?
Yeah, actually, talking about parents, the first thing that I would like to talk before diving into what parents should do is the issue of children's right. The UN has made us to understand that our children have a right that when you beat a child, he reports you, blah, 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 blah. And that's why children are going orphan. Coming back to parents, most parents are, how can I call them? They work. For example, Samari, you for one, just imagine that your wife is working. The moment mom is leaving from the house, if your wife is not there, mom will carry anything to school. She's still a little kid. She might not do anything bad. But imagine that type of a child who is already 16, 17, going to school every day. She has never been checked. Her back is her back. Everything belongs to her. Even when they close from school, she is not even obliged to tell you that, Daddy, this is my report sheet. This is my report card. This is my whatever.
But can't you ask?
Most parents have neglected their obligation of parenthood and taken the issue of chasing money up and down very important.
Economic hardship.
Yeah, that's it. And all these things are being caused by the economic hardship we have, like Joseph is rightly putting it. So what I'm trying to say here is also parents should also check on their children, like Mr. Womi rightly said. Most parents do allow for children when they come back in the evening. Like I, for one, at times when I reach home around 8 p.m., I'm tired. Imagine I had a child in the house who is to be learning from that 8 p.m. Maybe I'm sleeping. They go into their phones or whatever thing they have, calling it e-learning, and they do different things. Because some few weeks ago, there was a case in the school in the outskirts of Yaoundé here, where the principal realized that most students who have Android phones, smartphones in their hands, that everything that they have down there is something immoral. So now when he said that from tomorrow he will confiscate every Android phone, his office was stormed by all the students. Who gave them the idea that they should go and attack the principal? It's because the teacher himself is helpless. I witnessed a case where a parent attacked the teacher on the street that you beat my child. It was a fight. So teachers are trying to protect their lives while protecting their job by keeping quiet.
Okay.
Parents have a lot to do. Work together with teachers for the good discipline of the children.
And that is why we have the PTA.
Yeah, the PTA is there, but you're right.
Today is more of money-making machinery than even the system. Jones, you are a teacher.
Yes.
And they say the issue of human rights. The law governing discipline in school is a different situation. You have no right to go with a cane. Now, how should we solve this situation? In some few minutes.
The first thing there is, Mr. Abel, the level of drugging in Cameroon, in our school milieu.
We need to close the border so that drugs will not be coming in.
That is the question I want to ask here. How is it even coming in?
Smuggling.
In what way? In what way? Something is wrong at that level. We should ask. We shouldn't forget that area, but we'll not talk about it.
But you people like the discipline masters, you people need to reinforce discipline. Do all the thorough checking.
Yeah, Mr. Abel, bet you me that
if you don't see a child in class, you convoke the parents.
A spoiled child, if you beat that child now, tomorrow is another case.
One second.
You understand? Mm-hmm. So now what I want to say about this thing is there's a saying that my brother there, my colleague, Mr. Bechan, was trying to say that we the teachers, we cannot even do anything, because from the time these students get to the level where we are teaching,
yes,
they have been with their parents and the primary school teachers. They say what they say, this thing begins at home. Charity begins at home.
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, if you don't know, look at what is happening nowadays. You see a child with the mom go and buy the child a short skirt, the mother go and buy a child an open gown. They are walking and feeling that free.
Maybe we'll look for another venue to talk about this issue.
So
we are just running up.
Yes,
we are moving out of our time.
Yes. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, Mr. Abel.
Yes.
If the parents.
2 seconds.
Yes. Let's not talk much about the government.
Yes.
The government has little.
So what should the parents do in concrete terms?
The parents, it's either they take their stand as their responsibility.
Yeah.
If the children are more than them, let them call the government and say, these children are more than us, take them.
1 second.
One secret to the parents in order to check their children.
Yes.
Impromptu checking into their books. Impromptu checking into their phones. You check their phones, their books when they're in the parlor. You check.
I am of the school of thought that parents should visit the school as many times as possible.
Without telling the child.
Good afternoon, Jean-Marie Anaba.
Good afternoon, Ebel.
You are also a parent.
Oui.
Yes. What are we going to be talking about in barometric politics?
Le pouvoir vient de Dieu. Et si le vrai Dieu au Cameroun était le grand camarade de M. Foula, je ne parle pas du président de la République, je parle du président national d'un parti politique.
Le grand camarade
qui vient de donner son onction. Qui vient de donner son onction.
Mais pourquoi tu as décidé d'appeler mon ami personnel?
C'est notre ami commun. Qui vient de donner son onction à la gérontocratie, en lieu et place de la démocratie. Et pourtant, la devise du RDPC, c'est unité, démocratie et progrès. Est-ce qu'il y aura progrès avec ces grabataires? Donc c'est la grosse question tout à l'heure. On va examiner le fonctionnement des formations politiques. Dans quel mécanisme est-ce qu'ils sont en train de progresser pour une transition générationnelle? Est-ce que dans les formations politiques, on pense vraiment à cette transition générationnelle? Est-elle en marche là-bas? On va commencer par le RDPC, on tombera sur le SDF et on reviendra au PCRN qui a un problème à la mairie des États.
Quand on finit avec UDC.
Tout à fait.
Listeners, don't move a muscle, because up next is barometric politics, and you got it there. Quite an interesting topic, the formation. What are the different political parties doing in transition? Stay blessed.